Hey everybody, it's Brooke. I hope you're having a great evening. I have tonight a journal that I made for a swap over on Junk Journal Junkies. This is a friendship journal swap. All of the requirements were listed, and the book needed to be 5 by 7, an inch wide, an inch deep, and have 3 signatures with 5 pages each. So I had a great time making this. And please excuse my hands. I bought some permanent ink today, and hey, guess what? It works. It's permanent. Yeah. So that's what that is. Just don't look. At any rate, here is my journal for the swap. I cut down a hardcover book to make the covers and made a new spine for it. Used this beautiful, bright, springy scrapbook paper that I absolutely love for the outside and for some of the pages inside. I have some metal Tim Holtz book corners on it, a little note down on the bottom that says, "Hello, darling." The spine is covered with this beautiful lace. I think this is from Hobby Lobby. And it's got tulle in between these clusters of flowers. And I just think it's so pretty. And you can still see the stitching for the binding in between, which I really like. And then this is the cover. Again, the Tim Holtz book corners. The corners were a little bit rough, so I liked covering them up, and I like how it looks a lot. This is a very old book plate from my stash. It might have been Making Memories, and I put a little phrase in there that says "True Friend." Behind it, there's some cheesecloth and some of the bits of embroidery floss from the things that I put inside. And this is cut from a vintage doily that I found that had been hand crocheted with all these really bright flowers, and I just love it. The binding is Hug Snug seam binding, and on one end I have a little crystal angel charm, and on the other end is just this beautiful blingy piece of pink crystal. And going into the inside, let's see if I can get this in frame. Got a weird setup. The camera's at a weird angle. So let's see if we can get this. There. I think you can see that. Nope, too high. Oop, there we go. Okay. I was so excited because this is the paper, again, that I used throughout the book. And I found this piece of vintage fabric in my stash that I bought at an antique fair not too long ago. And it doesn't really look like the camera's picking it up terribly well, but the colors are just perfect together, and I just love it. So that's what the inside of the cover is made of. And I have this piece of vintage lace adhered here to make a pocket. And inside the pocket is a vintage airmail tag and just some various tags that I made. They're lined with coffee dyed paper, and this is gonna really flash out, so I'm gonna cover it, but I'll slide it in really quickly so it doesn't cross your eyes for you. But it's a metal tag, and that's fun to do alcohol inks or other things on. So that's the front pocket. The book wasn't supposed to be too stuffed, so it is a little bit stuffed, but everything can come out, so it can be replaced as desired or used in other books if that's what its new owner would like. So the next page is just folded over with a little tuck spot, tag in there with a vintage Denison label, which I adore. This is a greeting card from the 50s that talks about being a pal, and it actually has been written on the inside, which I think is so sweet. A little bag. This is one of the glassine bags from Rock Paper Treasures store. And here is a tag inside, some coffee dyed paper, some quotes about friends, little vintage trim on the edge with a rose charm attached with a garment pin, a little bit of washi tape, that coffee dyed paper, a page that looks like a tag. This is a vintage doily that I cut up with a pearl and a bit out of a quotation book about being friends. This is a Nazi pocket. That is Amity Bloom. She is so brilliant and so sweet and cute. But I just collaged some very old paper with old linens. There are, I think, 5 different layers of old linens, more of that crocheted doily. And then it has a pocket here and a pocket up at the top with a tag in it. And it's quite thick, so it does attach with a paper clip, so it doesn't have to go in there. I guess I'll just keep it there so I don't forget. There's a paper clip with the word trust on it and a little jingle bell. This is the center of the signature, and it's a pocket page. I have a ledger page from 1906 from a pocket ledger in there for June 10th and June 11th, which I just love. The color is gorgeous. On this side, there's a very old Daytona Beach, Florida postcard. The Wavecrest Apartments, the newest and most awesome design in architecture, I can tell. And a vintage button attached to the top, and there's the back of the postcard. There's the other side of that tag page, some coffee-dyed paper that I stenciled through. A little tag that's a tuck spot that says friendship with a journaling card inside. And it's got, this is actually old iron-on transfer for embroidery. It came from a package of bonus gifts from Workbasket magazine, and I couldn't find a date anywhere, but judging from the style of it, it's fairly old, and the envelope itself that it came in is just about crumbling, so I'm guessing it does have some age to it. There's the other side of that yummy, crunchy bag, a tag again inside of there. Here is an address book that has another quote from famous women on the top. Some Tim Holtz little girls that look like they're really good friends. And that folds up and makes a pocket with a little journaling card inside of the pocket. There's the other side of that address page. A very old envelope that I've just clipped in here. It doesn't have a letter inside, it's just the envelope. And I can't quite read it. It looks like 1930 something, but it is written in this beautiful fountain pen hand, and it has this awesome stamp from Puerto Rico. It's a U.S. postage stamp, but it says Puerto Rico on it. And it's been stamped. Again, I can't quite make out the date. But there's a paper tab on top of this page that says family, and a little sticker that says lucky to be friends. And I made a little blingy paper clip from a tiny Tim Holtz clip. There's the back of that signature. The second signature starts with this page that says friends, some vintage rickrack and velvet trim on the edge. That's a pocket page, and it says you are my sunshine. This is a frame that I made out of coordinating cardstock, and it does open at the top. I've just sewn it closed, and you can slip a picture or whatever inside. And that fits right in there. And again, all of these things can slip out so the book's not too fat. Old music paper, this is vintage as well. A song called Gee, But I'd Like to Make You Happy, which seemed like a good sentiment for a friend. And it's from the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer film success, Good News, which I had never heard of, but I thought that was kind of cool. Little stenciling on the back, a vintage Easter card that someone went through and crossed out for such a friend as you and made it into for such friends as you. And I thought that was super cute. Little page of piece of deli paper because you got to have the crunch. Coffee dyed paper with some fibers on the edge, a little piece of trim, and a sticker saying friendship, the state of being friends. And there's a lot of sewing in here as well. This is more coffee dyed paper with a tuck spot here, some heart stitching along the edge. And when you turn it over, it's actually an envelope that has a quote here, and it opens up with a card inside The card, oh, you can't even see that. Good grief, I'm way out of frame, sorry. The card opens up and can just have photos or journaling or whatever someone would like inside there, which I really like. I think the colors are beautiful and it went so well with the whole journal. This is some more of that deli paper, the other side of that Easter card, and I do have a tag inside of it that is an old recipe for tomato aspic. I think back in the 50s, aspic was a big thing. However, pretty sure it's just jelly. Tomatoes and jelly, to me, not so much. There's the other side of the music page, which just folds out, the sheet music. I do have it reinforced with some music note washi tape because it really is old and it was kind of brittle. And I didn't want that fold to fall apart. Here's the other side of the pocket page. Another paper tab that just says sister. A little tag stuck inside. And this is the third signature. This has a tuck spot stitched on the front. It's got some tulle and some fibers and a little vellum tag inside. On the back side of that is a vellum envelope, or glassine rather, that I stitched on. There's stickers inside about friendship and love, and those can just get taken out and used anywhere someone would like to. And back behind the pocket is a journaling card that has this yummy, yummy trim on it. I've had it forever. I don't know where it came from, but I love the colors, and it just, I think, is so gorgeous. The next page is coffee dyed paper. It has some vintage crochet. It's not crochet, it's netting. There's a name for that technique, which is escaping me. But at any rate, it's handmade trim with some sari silk on the edge, and I made it into a pocket to hold a little quote and a little flashcard with an F for friendship, and then another journaling spot. And those all slide right in there. The back of that is just the coffee dyed paper and a little stamping on that. Some French to English dictionary, and I punched the edge with some flowers. On this side, it actually has the definition for friend in French, which I circled and I stamped friend around it. Here's another one of those half pages that is supposed to look like a tag. And this is some embroidery that I did, a little hand embroidery with a heart and the word friends. And this is that same gorgeous vintage fabric. It's actually stitched into the signature, and it's a pocket that I closed with this Tim Holtz pin, and the pin says tidbits. I don't know if you can see it, but it's holding the pocket closed, and I'm not going to try to open it on camera because I am all thumbs, but the offcuts from the journal are inside so they can be used. The next page is the other part of that ticket, or the tag page, and it says you are a true friend. The other side of the French English dictionary and some more of those adorable little girls. They say attached at the hip, which I just think is such a cute phrase. There's another garment pin there with a beautiful pink cameo and a little bling. Oh, and this is some vintage fabric that I ruched on the side and stitched on with some tulle. Coffee dyed paper. This is a folded over tuck spot. Another frame that I made with the scraps of paper. And this is a paper tab that says friends. And that's the back page. It's just blank with that beautiful, rich, bright yellow. And, well, actually, I'll show you that in a minute. This is the actual back cover. And I've stitched on this glassine bag. And there's a tag inside. This is a printable, a vintage printable. And I stitched some more of the iron-on transfer on the back. And all the threads are loose and dangly, which I love. But this is also a tuck spot back behind. So some things can go back in there. And I've got a little piece of book page about Bessie Bell and Mary Gray. They were two bonny lasses. And I think it's an old page that's from Mother Goose. And I think that's just adorable. So that's stuck back in that pocket as well. And then also that this piece fits right in the back, and it's a pencil board for the rest of the book. It's just a hard surface that you can insert between pages when you're writing. And it has coordinating paper and a friendship quote, and the back is these beautiful butterflies. But I laminated it so it's got some stiffness, and it lets you write more easily on pages if there's some texture. So that is my book for the friendship swap. I had so much fun making it. I really love how it came out, and I hope whoever its new owner is will also love it as much as I do. Thanks so much for stopping by, you guys. I will talk to you soon, and please don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Nothing to link to down below, but good night.